All right, so today we're going to talk about mixed media. So mixed media, believe it or not, you have probably been doing since you are very little, okay? It's one of those neat, art forms where a lot of times what happens is you start working on something, and then you might have an art teacher who says, you know what, let's do this to this. Let's do this to this. So they're kind of like very sneakily teaching you about mixed media and how all different medias, doesn't matter what kind you use, can be used together. Okay? Now, which is great. You already actually know some of the information before I'm going to even go over this, which is perfect. But when it brings it down to it, this is what's really mixed media. Okay? So it's mixed media art involves creatively utilizing different mediums within one piece of artwork, okay? So for those flowers that you may have drawn when you were little and you painted them with watercolor and then outlined them with maybe oil pastel, that's mixed media. Okay? So for example, I'll give you an example here. It's fun. Okay? So mixed media is all about breaking the boundaries. We don't always know. A lot of times when we're practicing the different units, we're using just one media. Okay, now this one, a little bit different. It says by allowing different medias to be used together, new techniques can be developed and utilized to make new creative experiences. All right, not everything works together. This is kind of one of those places where you can figure that out. It says building up your layers. When working with mixed media, it is best to imagine it more like layers, okay? So I'm going to kind of give you like layers like 1, 2, 3. So the way you're seeing it is this way, but if I was holding it this way, it'd go like that, okay? It says the underlayer or the bottom layer, okay, or surface is where you create a base for your artwork to be applied on. So, okay, it says this can be used as a background or it can be used as individual sections for a collage. The main image area, which is the next one, okay, is where the image or the focus or where you're going to put your drawing, all right? What is it going to be? This is where that layer is, all right? Now, there is another layer that I don't have here. These are accents. These are like any kind of things that you want on the very top, all right? But for most part, we're going to be working with just two. Okay? Since both of these layers can be worked on individually or they can be built up at the same time. All right. Now, so let's break this down even more. So we know a lot of us have been working on this top layer. Okay. A lot of time you get white piece of paper and then you just make your artwork and everything's all kind of one medium. All right. So I'm going to take out this image layer. So we're going to take that out. And now we're back down to the base layer, your actual paper, all right? You don't have to have white paper, all right? So what do we do with it? We apply surface treatments, okay? Ways that we can start. It says a surface treatment is a process applied to the surface of a material to make it appear unique or decorative in some way. For example, instead of cutting paper, you can tear the paper or wrinkle it to give it an effect. All right. By creating surface treatments, it allows the artist to incorporate implied texture. Now, don't forget, what is implied texture? Implied texture is the look of texture. Okay, we can't feel it. Well, you might be able to, but it's the look. Okay, implied texture within their artwork instead of having all surface area to be flat. Be flat. Oh, look at that. You got twice the amount. All right, so in down here when we're looking at this, the surface layers are the background, okay? The back, the cutouts for here. Even like this right here. What they did was they made it seem like kind of scratchy, all right? All right, so let's flip this over. Developing your underlayer kind of sounds wild, right? It says an underlayer or surface is the base of your paper, all right? And you'll be applying this too. So not all underlayers need to be smooth. We already kind of went over that and it doesn't mean white. After developing your underlayer, you will then apply a main image later, okay? But that's kind of how it goes, all right? To create a direction of focus. Now, what we're going to do is, because mixed media has so much to it, what we're going to do is I'm actually going to show you the materials that you need for this section first, okay? I'm then going to stop the video after I show you, and then I'm going to go to the next one, show you those supplies too, All right, this is actually going to cut down the amount of cleanup that you're going to have, because you're only going to need to do a little bit at once. I wouldn't suggest watching the whole video and then getting everything, because then you might get caught at the end of the period having a lot to put back. Okay? All right. So that is that, and well, let's get going. Let me go get all my supplies. All right, so the first thing that we're going to actually kind of go over is the use of a glue sponge and the glue. All right, so when you're using these, as long as it's paper or it's very light, these are the two best things. You can also use the regular white glue, but honestly, when you're trying to get stuff done kind of fast, this is the way to go. Glue sticks, we kind of know how to use glue sticks. They're great. Glue sponge. We love the glue sponge. So first thing with the glue sponge is when you first open it, what you want to do is flip it over, okay? I know it's gluey, it's gross, it happens. But what happens is all the glue actually settles to the bottom, okay? So you want to get all this wonderfulness, okay? All the stickiness at the top. Now when you're working with a glue sponge, what you're going to do is you actually take your paper. You can either wipe it or you can lay it on and you can dab it, okay? One thing about this now, the glue sponge will give you a nice seal, okay? It's nice and good and strong because white glue is fabulous, okay? But it doesn't make the actual paper wet, all right? Just to let you know. So you got to give it a little bit of time to dry. This is great. It just, it works. It's perfect. It's not so wet. But figure out what you want, okay? All right, so the first thing that you're going to need for this first one is butcher block paper. Now this is the paper that's in the big brown roll. I normally store this because it's so big over back by the painting section. Okay, by the garbage. This may change in the future, but right now, that's where you're going to find it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're actually going to create an effect that looks something like this. So this is a little bit thicker paper. It's kind of like, the paper you have like your grocery bags in. So what we're going to first do, I want you to crinkle it. Yeah, I know, that was kind of harsh, but we're going to destroy it. So we're going to give this an old look. Okay, kind of like it's been around for a while. Kind of, crinkle it around. This would be a great base for a project. All right. So how do we get this to be flat? Okay, so what you could do is on the edge of the table, if you take your paper and you kind of just run it over the edge of your table, kind of like this, okay, it will kind of flatten out. All right, so I'm actually going to glue this down into here. I'm going to make sure you guys can see this. So it's a little too big. Pull it down, all right? And I'm just going to use my glue sponge. I'll show you what it looks. So this, kind of just add on here. Get my edges. Notice how fast this goes. Okay? Glue it down. Now, it doesn't look like much. You're like, well, why would I put my artwork on there? All right, so next what you're going to do is you need, you're going to need a black pastel, all right? So how this is going to work is you're going to take, or you can use a crayon too, and you very carefully skim the top. Very, very, very carefully. Okay, and you could do any color, honestly. Gives it just like implied texture, really. And the more you wrinkle, the more it's going to be noticeable. Now, when I'm done, I kind of go over it lightly, and it really gives it a really cool effect. Okay? So that is one way you can do a really cool underlayer. Okay? All right, on to the next. All right, so our next one is going to be a random patchwork and a little bit of tinting, okay? So what you're going to need here is just a little bit of newspaper. A few. Yeah, I have a lot here, but you just need a few pieces of colored paper, okay? Maybe like, 2 colors. I have 3. It's okay, whatever. And then chalk pastel, all right? So patchwork, when we think of patches, they kind of be in like square formats. Now, you can cut these with scissors. It is absolutely fine, all right? Or if you feel better, you can rip things, okay? Now, patchwork kind of randomness, you kind of get this idea that things are kind of like all over the place, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of just collage them in a way, all right? So let's just apply some stuff. I'm not going to worry about, honestly, what is going to go where. Kind of sometimes when you're doing this, sometimes things feel better in certain spots. Like you might say, that doesn't feel good there. Oh, let's put it in a different spot. That's all that those years of art they're kind of talking to you, saying, hey, guess what? It's called balance. If it feels weird, probably because it's not balanced correct. Okay. Do I want another? Oh, dude, yeah, that's the way to go. And then another yellow here. What do you think, people? Not feeling it. I feel like that's gorgeous. Okay, so this is kind of patchwork. Patchwork is when you apply a whole bunch underneath it, and I'm not going to worry because honestly, if I draw straight onto it, I might put lots and lots of layers on it. Now, another way I can do this, so it's not so flat, okay, is you could take some chalk pastels, and just like we did here, we can tint some stuff. All right, tinting definitely gives a little bit more excitement, okay? Starts to pull things through. Now, how am I doing this? Well, I'm using one color, okay? And I'm kind of going through and I'm making it feel more cohesive. See, all of a sudden, I start layering it. It feels so much better. That's what... Ooh, there we go. That's what mixed media does. Okay. How cool would this be to like draw a picture on top of this? Oh, it'd be awesome. Very cool. Okay. So this is patchwork. Okay. It's kind of when you put things differently and it just layered like a collage. Okay. It's great base for applying all different things on top of it. Okay. Next one. All right, so for this next one, we're going to do transparency and texture on here. A lot of this is actually going to come from the tissue paper that you're going to need to get, small amount, and whatever you don't use, please put it back because tissue paper, everyone can use even small little bits, so it's good to save it, all right? And we're going to work with some water-soluble oil pastels. They're pretty cool, okay? And you're going to need a little dish of water, okay? So first thing we're going to do is, itch my nose. We're going to color this in, okay? All you do is you take this, you dip it in. That's it, okay? And we're just going to color. And you're like, well, what makes it so fabulous? Watch. Blends so nicely. Okay? So spend a few minutes, okay? And I just want you to color in, add some nice, details. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just, a little excitement. So this would be really cool if I had it on like a time lapse, but not there yet. Haven't figured that out. So it's all right. I just end up doing it with you. Oops. Yeah, it's going to make your paper kind of wet, but it's okay because believe it or not, having something bleed is not so bad either, okay? Alright. Oh, this is looking so much fun, ladies and gentlemen. You're like, okay. Alright. So the reason I'm kind of putting some bold colors down is because our next one, like we can still add on, all right? Let's add a more yellow. All right, now I could have put designs down, which is absolutely fine. But I thought, it'd be nice and neat to kind of have like an image. We'll just kind of go over that, all right? Cool. All right, so let's put them to the side, kind of check these out. All right, so if it's not dry, what I would suggest is you maybe take a moment to take a paper towel and just blot it dry. Okay, actually, I'm just going to use this because I just happily have a piece right here just to dry it. Okay. Now our next thing we're going to do is we're going to kind of create some transparency. Okay, with some tissue paper. Okay, now one of the things you can do with tissue paper is we can actually lay it over. By adding on some water. There we go. Oh, you gotta be careful. It gets so thin. So with tissue paper, it can be very, very thin. Okay. So the cool thing is, so I can actually apply this over, alright, and it will dry, alright, which is really cool. Actually, I'm going to give it a minute or two, okay, and I can actually color over this as well. Gives it a new kind of look, alright, so hopefully that'll dry. Another thing, by the way, that this is really cool for, okay, I'll show you. Do the same thing, and remember, be very careful because it will stick to the glue sponge. It's so thin. Don't, by the way, leave it on here. I can also make it wrinkly. So if I want it to be wrinkly. Okay. Now, please don't go wadding up tissue papers like little flowers and chunking them on there. They just look like snot balls, okay? If you want something that looks like pops up like that, go and find something else, okay? All right, I want to actually see. I'm going to take some water and I'm going to just apply it. And you're going to be able to see how it really can see through, okay? Now, even like see how it's thick in some areas? That actually is a really cool effect. I'm going to just try to chunk it a little bit more. There we go. Okay. Because it gives it like an old-fashioned kind of look. Gives it like thickness, and it's really cool. Okay, so oil pastels. So over here, when this dries, you can actually apply this on top, and you can color on top of it, and it gives it like a really neat layered look too. Okay? Sound like a plan? Sounds like a plan. Actually, I wonder if I can get a little bit here. Oh yeah, there we go. Could add more color onto that to layer it up. Layer it up there. Nice. Just gives it a neat kind of effect. Alright, and that's how we can do some transparency, okay, and add some texture. Alright, so our next one, you're going to need a rubbing plate, okay, texture plate. They're over by the collage station, okay, on the top where the rubbing plates are, and you're going to need oil pastels. Not water-soluble ones, oil pastels, okay? Remember, if they are super messy, how do we wash them? We don't. We wipe them off with paper towels. Okay, so one of the cool things that you can do with this, now yes, you can use crayon for this, okay, but a student of mine came up with this wonderful idea where they were able to apply oil pastels on top of this as well. Now, we've been kind of working with oil pastels, so we kind of know how they work. They blend so nicely. What you're going to do is I want you to kind of give this like a color. Decorate it. Put a texture underneath it that adds just another level of excitement, okay? So I'm going to go in and add more. Pretty cool, right? So how cool is this, ladies and gentlemen? Like, just even like having so much fun. You're like, wow, that's awesome. It is. And all you did was you just put it on top of a rubbing plate. Pretty cool, right? Yep. Okay, so that's how you can add like more texture or more designs with probably very little effort, which is pretty cool, with oil pastel and a rubbing plate. Alright, so for this one you're going to need a little bit more, okay? You are actually going to borrow, okay? You're not going to destroy. You're going to borrow someone's paint tray in the back, okay? Trust me, there's a lot that we can use, alright? I need you to get some kind of stencil. Now, I'm using a circle one. It would, you can use any design, which is absolutely fine, okay? But this is what we're going to be doing. You need to get a stamp, alright? So, grab a stamp. All right, anyone, preferably one of the ones that you guys probably worked with, okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that. You need a marker and a pen, okay? All right, so hold on a second. I just got to grab, by the way, a paintbrush. Okay, we're back, and you need a paintbrush. Totally forgot about that. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is now, yes, this is a blank background. Now, honestly, we could go in and you could add some color if you wanted to, but this is not you don't need to worry about that, okay? Because we're going to add a lot more stuff, all right? Okay, so first thing we're going to do is, remember that paint that we're going to borrow? So what we're going to do is we're going to put a bunch of stamps down, okay? And we're going to make this be the texture in the back. Now, I'm going to use very little here, okay? And I'm going to stamp a lot. Now, a double stamp, okay, it's actually called a ghost stamp. Now, what I'm doing, by the way, is I'm taking a little water and I'm just hydrating a little part of it. Just painting. Now, I have a design down because I kind of want to add a little bit more excitement to this. I feel like that doesn't look like much. Oh, just you wait. Just you wait. We're going to layer it. Now, why are we kind of kindly borrowing someone else's? Because I don't need you to go and get a whole bunch of paint for something that's going to take you 2 minutes or less to do. All right. Add a different color. Adding some different colors to this, okay? Now, the best way to do this is when you're adding more texture, see how much texture is really coming through, is to kind of use what's called neighboring or analogous colors, okay? So I'm going to use a little yellow too. Remember, our goal is not to destroy their paint because they might need to come back to it. I'm going to go this way. Alright, that looks so cool. Alright, I'm going to leave that. Alright. Now, what I would highly suggest, okay, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a little magic, okay? I'm going to pause this and I want it to dry, okay? Now, here's the thing. Over by my flamingo, okay, by my palm tree, there's a hairdryer. You may use it to dry this, but here's a catch. You gotta hold it about the width from your pinky to your thumb away, because I don't want you, 1, burning down my artwork. Never good, okay? 2, I don't want you burning the paper. 2, that's another one. I don't want it smelling. Don't want that, okay? And by the way, actually, it will dry kind of faster because you're gonna get more of the space. All right, so pause the video. I'm gonna pause the video. Go dry this area. Go. Wow, that was so quick. I love it. Okay, so the next one we're going to do, now one thing you can do with stamps, okay, is we can create texture, okay? And it doesn't really matter what the stamp looks like because as long as you vary your colors or even just like how thick the paint is, you get a really cool design. Also, another thing you could do is stencils, all right, is we can layer on top of this too. These different label on. Okay, just gives another layer, which is really cool. Use pen too. I get a little messy. See? It's pretty cool. And you're like, well, what can I use that for? You could probably create water on that. I could even get oil pastel and I could create on top of this and it'd be really nice. Get some chalk pastel and it would be really bright. Very cool. Okay, so that is what you can do with stamping, stenciling, and just what could go underneath it. Okay? All right, let's go to the next one. Okay, for this last one, what you're going to need is a couple of things. You're going to need a wax piece of paper, pen, thin marker. You need Crayola markers, okay, and some kind of water, either a water dish or I'm okay with you guys using the spray bottle as well, and a paintbrush, right? Actually, you need a clean paintbrush, which now I've got one. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we're actually going to stain this, or we're going to paint this, okay? And you're like, you got no paint, lady. I know. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually make our own paint. So you're going to take the Crayola and you're going to color over your wax paper. Okay. Now the really cool thing about this is you can hydrate. So I'm going to just take a little bit of spray, just put it over, and isn't it so cool? And I can actually paint over things. Okay. Another cool thing about this, by the way, is when you have this kind of the Crayola, okay, it's made with water, all right. It will also bleed, okay. So if you want a really cool bleeding effect, this is the way to go. Now, I can be perfect, or I can make this look like it's, you know, kind of crazy looking. It's fine. Doesn't really matter, because honestly, with mixed media, you're going to add more onto it. So just because you did this doesn't mean you can't find something else to put on top of it. Okay. So hopefully that's going to dry by the time I'm done talking for the next thing. So we're going to take this, we're going to put this away. So that's how Crayola can be. Now handwriting. I know that everyone has this whole thing about their handwriting. Oh, it's so horrible. Or it's, I don't like it. Believe it or not, handwriting in art, it doesn't really matter. Okay? Because sometimes you want that unique look or that unusual look. That's awesome. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to actually do a couple different writings on here. And I think what we're going to do, and the word that we're going to use is la. L-A. Okay? Now this should be almost dry. Almost dry. If you need to, you can go do that magical, go dry it off, but it's absolutely fine. It should be kind of dry. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to write la a whole bunch of time. La, 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 la. Okay? Now this is just adding texture. Alright. Oh my gosh. After a while, you're not sure how to do la. Okay. Me. What's the next one, guys? You know? La, mi, fa. So even by just taking your letters and overlapping them, gives you a nice cool texture. Okay, kind of looks like a lot, all right? Kind of like if you were working on the pencil, ink and marker unit, how we did like more made darker, same thing like this. I can make this a lot darker. Now, when you're working with this stuff, okay, one of the cool things about adding to the background, okay, is you can actually add just regular words, okay? Now, I might say, sing a song, okay, music, all these little words in here, I can just add in more things. Now, this may be my focus, but honestly, a lot of this stuff can just be in the background. Let's see. I don't know what other words. I'm just going to write sing and music, I guess. Sing. Okay. Just add. If you don't like that font, write it, differently. All right. So all these things all layered up. Now I could then go on top of it and create music notes. So all of this stuff is in the background, okay? Or I can make this really massive. Go back to this. Oh, it's drying out. It's never good. Can make it really large. And see how that kind of like goes into the background? You don't even notice it as much. Okay. And if I build it up, I put more and more and more, all this other stuff in the background, it just kind of like mushes together. Makes a nice underlayer. Okay. All right. So that is the last one. All right. So let's, we got one more to do and then we're almost finished. All right, here we are. We finally made it to the end, okay? So what you're going to be doing with this, now as you can kind of see, mine's kind of a little wet, so what you might want to do is make sure that yours is dry. When we go and treat each one, this is probably going to take it a little bit longer, but it shouldn't be that long. So when I say watercolor, you can do, totally was supposed to be watercolor. That's fine. Okay, we're going to be just liquefying. We're just going to make it nice and light, and then tempera is going to be a little thicker. And each one of these is going to have a base. Okay, so what's going to happen is we're going to use this like a times table. All of these are going to be affected to all of these. Okay, they're going to be the base. All of these are things that we're going to do on the top. Now, here's the one catch, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not doing these because these are all the ones that are the same. Right? No? Sharpie, Sharpie, pencil. Oh my heavens, I think I did something wrong. We'll figure it out. It's all good. Oh, pastel. It's okay. All right. So where it doubles up, don't do. So this would double up there, that double up there, pencil. Oh, oil pastel. That's where it messed me up. So I put in pencil. Oil pastel, yeah, that's right. And then Sharpie, that's right. I got an extra thing for pencil. That's fine. Okay. So actually, I think we're going to go this way. All right, so first one, we're going to do a watered down tempera or watered down thing. If you want to go get actual watercolors, absolutely fine. But I am just going to liquefy, make it really runny, and make this light. Just paint that through, okay? Blot that off. Next one's going to be a little thicker. By the way, if your paint that you're borrowing is acrylic, it's not the end of the world. Okay? Oh, totally forgot. You need all of these materials for this one. Because what we're going to do on here is we're actually going to just kind of see how each one of these affects each other. Okay? Color pencil. Notice I'm not being super, like perfect here. Marker. Pen. Looks good, right? Yep, totally. Oil pastel. One of my favorites. Now, here's the thing with Sharpie, okay? I don't want you coloring this whole section with Sharpie because it will bleed through, okay? So I'm going to ask that you not color this in, okay? So actually, you know what? Why don't we do this? I'm going to have you do like 2 stripes, and that I think will be it. Hold on one second when I grab a Sharpie. Here we go. Sorry. All right, so just putting one line, make it slightly thicker, not too much. I don't want you going crazy over it. Last one is pastel. All right. So here's the fun part, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to do this over again, okay? But we're going to see how some of this works, okay? Now, these two are in the same family. It's not going to work, okay? Honestly, a lighter over a darker, you're not going to see. So I'm just going to tell you that one thing. Okay, so we're going to do watercolor. So these are all watered down. So you're going to need that watercolor. So I had watered down color. And I'm going to add it over and see how it kind of works. Now, I don't want you guys adding like just plopping it over. We're just going to kind of make like little lines. See how things pan out. Okay? It's going to let you dry there. Tempera. There you go. This is the thicker. This will definitely see how everything looks. Okay. Colored pencils. Let's check them out. All right. All right. It's color pencil. All right. Interesting. I wonder if this one is probably just a little wet. I wonder if I tried a different color. This might be a little wet, and that's probably why it's not working there. There we go. I think it's just color. Marker. Let's try marker. Marker's there. Interesting. Interesting to see what works and what doesn't work. Pen. Oil pastel. Let me use a different color. That's there. Pencil. So this is one I didn't want to do under, but I just wanted you to add. Of course. Where do I have my pencil? All right. Hold on. Let me turn around. I know where they are. There we are. Normally I have one in my ear, but apparently I didn't have it by my ear. So that works. That's nice. Nice. Pretty cool. Sharpie. Let's go to this one. Okay. Ooh, this one, by the way, it does run out. Okay, I'm just letting you know. All right. See how it's running out there. If you find that something's not working in the next one, because sometimes what happens is it just kind of dries it up. Then pastel. Alright, so we can kind of see how each one is affected by the other and what they kind of look like. You kind of see how some dilute, some get creamier, some don't work really. Okay, so that's marker on oil pastel. Alright, some look good over, some just you don't really even notice them as much. Alright, so what are we doing with this? Alright, now what I want you to do is you're actually going to go back to the 6 that you already created. All of these ones in the back. Alright. And now it's time to actually put some more more media on top of it. So now that you've explored how to create different kinds of underlayers and what media looks like with other media, create an image to go on top of all the 6 mini art underlayers with a theme of knowledge. Okay, so what you're going to do is this should probably take you maybe 10-15 minutes. Okay, so if you're spending more than 10-15 minutes on all these, you kind of need to move along, okay? So the goal is to grab these materials right here, okay? And I want you to try them out, all right? Maybe I would suggest 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 1 to 2 medias on each one to just add a little bit more design on the top, okay? So for example, on here, you could say, you know what? I'm going to use pen, okay? I want you to use all of them, all right, on here, and draw knowledge. Could be, oh, how about this? A candle. It's a bright idea. Like, what? No way. Yeah, I know. Pretty cool, right? So, just checking now to see how this works. I could even say, you know what? I know that this might work with oil pastels. And I could add on. Okay? So, those two are done. Try all of them out. So, when I go back here, I mark off pen and oil pastel. Okay? Go through all of them and add a different design on here. Okay? Now, on here, your design could be words, by the way. It could be like butterfly, or it could be like designs that you put on top, or whatever. It's fine. Okay? Same thing. Create a design using all these. All right, when you're done, experimenting and looking at all different, how to make mixed media in ways that it can be really cool. Take a picture, put this into your Seesaw account, and you're done. But, by the way, I forgot. You got to make sure all of your stuff is put away, okay? Don't leave anything out. Don't, shortchange anything. Put it all the way away. Make sure it looks nice and neat, okay? Because, let me tell you, mixed media can get out of hand. Because, let me tell you, when you get rolling with it, yeah, you get a little lazy and not want to put everything away. Okay, enjoy.